Many of you gathered here at this time are hurting. Some are depressed. Some feel anxious about what is occurring in the world and in society as a whole. There is much pain, and everyone is seeking togetherness, healing. Everyone is seeking a better tomorrow, unity. But there seems to be a loss of civility. There seems to be a loss of the very togetherness that is needed to heal all of the large issues of the day. The problems that seem so great would be so easily solved if people would just allow themselves to not fear, to not doubt. So our intent is to give you hope, to give you reason to see why things are so much better than they look at this moment to you. To do so, we are going to speak immediately about fear, about hatred, and about love, and about community and camaraderie, about disgust and hope. And you may think, how can all of these things tie together? But they tie together because hope, love, the future, these are what make what you need. But people are using fear and doubt to drive you to a point of hatred and division. So, what exactly is hatred? And what is disgust? And what is fear? Fear is a primal instinct. It is necessary for survival. So, what is disgust? Disgust is really a prolonged fear. You learn disgust because you know something should be feared. Yet it may not be an imminent fear. For example, you would have disgust about placing your hands in sewage. That disgust is a form of prolonged fear because people know that placing their hands in sewage can lead to diseases that ultimately lead to death. It is a survival potential. So disgust is needed in order to not live in a constant state of fear or anxiety that brings up a constant state of anxiousness that would harm the system physiologically. Now, the problem is that fear and disgust can be manipulated. And when these are manipulated, they become hatred. Think about what was done in Nazi Germany, where people were compared to rodents, people were compared to vermin, and it ultimately led to horror. But this is not a tactic that has only occurred in Germany. It has occurred throughout the world, age after age, especially in times of war, or especially in times when politicians have wanted to unite the people of a particular group against another group. They use disgust and fear. Oh, we are disgusted at how these people live, or we're disgusted at how these people came to our land, or oh, we're disgusted that these people look different. They're too short, they're too tall, they're too green, they're too purple. And this becomes a fear mongering of, oh, those purple people are different. They could take your jobs, they could take your food, they could hurt you on the street. And then that develops to what you call hatred. Now, let's look at the other side of things. What is love? So many people want to think of love as some sort of a warm, fuzzy feeling. But love is not a warm, fuzzy feeling. You may have that warm, fuzzy feeling as a part of procreational lust. You may have that warm, fuzzy feeling at the excitement of eating an ice cream. But that is a temporary feeling. Love is not a feeling, it is a choice. It is a choice to do good without doing it in self interest, but doing it because you choose to do what is best for another person, for your community, for your world, for your environment. Often it is said that hatred is the polar opposite of love. It even can be the negative expression of love. And in some senses, this is true because hatred is motivated by fear, it is motivated by disgust, so it creates the opposite actions. In order to preserve society, hatred acts in a negative way. Whereas, in order to preserve society, love acts in a positive way. Now, we are at the change of an age, the change of a time, the change of an era. And many people are trying to hold on to the past. This is a theme, of course, which we touch often. But it is important to realize that hatred is more about fear of moving into the future often than it is about just clinging to the past. And the future for many people is an unknown, yet the future is not something that should be feared because it is not the unknown people wish to think it is. See, you are living in the now. The future is created by what you are doing. So, in the very essence of speaking about the future, you have total control of the future because you are creating the future at this very moment. You are creators of your own destiny. You are creators of your own future. So when people say to you, oh, there is great global warming, we say to you, yes, there is destruction at the moment. And there are people trying to hold on to old ways of doing things and people trying to move to new ways of doing things. But if each individual simply took control of what they could do to make a difference, there would be no real issue. You see, everybody wants someone else to make a difference. Everybody wants the governments to take care of it. Everybody wants businesses to take care of it. But one person can plant trees. One person can change the way they do their landscaping. One person can choose a cleaner form of energy for transportation. Maybe you do need to use a car in today's world, but maybe a bicycle or your feet would work perfectly fine for going after a candy bar at the corner store. Oh, but then society says, let us make this even more difficult. We will build things in such a way that cars have to be used. And this is being done. But how much more friendly would your landscape be if you built environmentally friendly towns and communities? This is the future, and it's a choice one person at a time. It is not a choice that's going to be made by the governments. It's not a choice that's going to be made by companies. It's a choice that they will follow you into, but not a choice they will make. Governments follow people. Businesses follow people. People have to make the changes, and then businesses will make changes, and then governments will make changes because they know they will no longer exist if they don't. It sounds simple, but we are telling you that once you realize what love is and what hate is, and you decide to apply love, which is simply taking responsibility and action for doing better things for yourself and for other people. Oh, yes, when we talk about love, we talk about self, for you should love yourself. If you do not love yourself, how are you going to love anyone else? So we're telling you now, while everyone is giving you prophecies of doom, while everyone is claiming all of the horrible things that will happen, there is hope. This is not the end of a world. This is the end of an age. This is not the end of existence. This is the end of a era of existing in a certain way. This is the beginning of a new world, the beginning of a new society, a beginning of a new time to move forward. There is hope. There is many good things. And they, as a unity, are the most precious of all that you can embrace. If you make these changes in your life, others around you will see and they will begin to make the same changes. And when they begin to make these same changes, there will become a civility in your life. There will be people to hug and hold. There will be people to agree with and sit with at the table. And as you are sitting at the table, as you are at the table, the conversations can be joyous and in love, not acrimonious, because these things are choices. And when you make the choice to allow others to be, and you make the choice to be what you can be, others will see you as a light. The divine will flow through you. Your divinity will begin to shine and grow. And others will follow suit. And that is how you build a world of peace, a world of hope. And believe it or not, that is how you change the physiological environment of the globe.